Hey, morning, folks. Um, Slightly surprised by the weather forecast yesterday. We know it was going to be a fairly nice day, but we were expecting it to blue out sometime by early afternoon, and it didn't. And it didn't simply because the dew points never came down below 12 degrees. They just stayed fairly constant during the day. So we had cumulus right till very late afternoon. Similar air mass, but as you can see, the front is in a slightly different position. It's progressing itself slowly and steadily south, and it is a very slow process. So overnight, it's only going to get across the Midlands, maybe start to see rain here towards sort of dark, and then crawl its way across us tomorrow morning. And it really does depend on the timing for the front for tomorrow. So going back today, what have we got? Well, isobars are still more or less westerly. And I think the wind component's going to be just slightly south of west for most of the day on the ground, 10 knots at the most. And as it says there, 15 knots probably at flying heights in the south here. Not strong, remaining fairly consistent all day. And it's not sort of backing at all during the day. It'll be like that right into the evening. Sat pic shows more cloud than yesterday, but I think this will break up as the morning goes on. Slightly slower to get going, I think, today than it was yesterday. There's more cloud to get rid of. But it will burn off and it will start to turn soarable. I think probably later in the morning, gone 11:30, I suspect, before it gets reasonably usable. And then depending on which model you believe will depend on how much cloud you think is going to remain around. There's the position of the rain. I just thought I'd show you that. It hasn't changed over the last 6 hours, really. This is making a very, very slow progression south, and it is very, very slow. Temperatures, perhaps a degree cooler than yesterday. It got to 25 degrees here yesterday. I think perhaps 23, 24 today. Mid-afternoon. Dew points, they're a little bit higher than yesterday, and hence it'll take a little while to get going. The soundings, well, two sort of varying models really. One is the GFS, which is saying by midday the lines are coming apart here, less cloud, and in fact actually beginning to go blue, and the same in the afternoon, showing little chance of actual cumulus. Now if you look at Camborne overnight, you can see actually these lines are quite close together, and a very similar picture to yesterday. And I think because of that, this inversion will go up as the morning goes on. Because of that, I think there's more chance of cumulus, and I do think we will see cumulus today, like we did yesterday. Probably not going quite so high though. I think it'll linger at about the 3,500 foot mark for most of the day. Top Meteo are showing it getting going by midday, 1,000, 1,200 meters by midday, 1 o'clock, and then in the afternoon going up to 1,400 meters, which is about 4,000 feet. I think not quite so high, probably 3 to 3.5 max. And Top Meteo are showing it blue for most of the day, some upper cloud, but little or no cumulus. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there will be Q during the day. Again, they're showing the progress of the front, fairly stationary all day. it will creep in. The Met Office forecast is for the rain to get here at about 9 o'clock tonight. So again, slightly contrasting forecast. Suggested distance on top Meteo. Well, it's all basically in the south, probably best out to the west of us and not too far north. But another reasonable day. Tomorrow, that line has moved. Last night, that was actually down here, and it looked like we would get the frontal clearance about 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and it would be actually okay for the afternoon. It's a matter of timing, folks. We'll just see what it's doing. Have a look at it first thing in the morning if you want a real definitive answer. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll have moved a bit faster and we get into the good air that's out over the Cotswolds. Okay, so operationally, we're on 2.7. So if you want to launch, just come to the runway and we'll get you launched. Airspace wise, very little about. Local and out to the west of here. To the north, we've got this parachuting, which was scheduled to take place for a 2-week period. We will phone them a little bit later to find out what their plans are, because a phone call yesterday confirmed that they weren't operating. But they are scheduled to do up to 6 parachute jumps during the period. And Old Warden have an air display this weekend. I think it's some kind of, they're not allowing people on the airfield. It's a sort of virtual air display from watching from your car in the car park. But they've got an active piece of airspace and a restriction there. Apart from that, that's it really, folks. So if you're going to fly, we'll see you out on the runway.